You're muted.
Yeah, it froze on my screen. There we go.
Yeah.
Good evening. Welcome to another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. The intro froze on my screen for a second. I'm your boy Bodkins. Of course, with me as always is Mr. Bobby Blunts. Oh, Bobby, we got a lot to get into tonight. We got to talk all things UFC 330. Plus, we'll look at UFC Sacramento. Headlined by Fluffy Hernandez versus RoboCop. That's going to be a good one, I feel like. But we got to go back to UFC 330 Saturday night. Islam retains, and I came away thinking he retained. Good, but not a great performance. I think had he got the knockout in the second round, we'd come away thinking, holy shit. But instead, I came away thinking really good performance by both Ian and Islam. I think Islam's going to need to get a little bit bigger in this weight class. To answer the question on the thumbnail, I don't think he's the GOAT yet, but has added to that cement legacy, and it has now broken Anderson Silva's win streak. So there's that. Your thoughts on Saturday night?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I mean, it was kind of more the fight I was expecting. This is what you get when you have two very evenly matched guys. I mean, this is what it looks like when you go up a weight class and fight the actual deserving contenders. And, you're not fighting Stipe Miocic or something like that. So this is kind of what it looks like. What up, Trent?
What up, Trent? Appreciate it.
And, I understand if people might have just gotten upset with the stalling. So wasn't the easiest on the eyes, but it just, to me, the reason I was locked in the entire time, it felt like it could really change at a moment's notice. Cause even though there was very little going on with certain positions, you kind of felt how dangerous it could be if he, got him over and actually got the choke. And in the first round was just mainly control by Islam. If Gary could have maybe had a little bit more of a start in the third round, he very well could have stolen that round. Because, I mean, that essentially came down to control. The second round, he dropped him.
The fourth round, right? The fourth round. Is that what you're talking about? The fourth round.
No, I'm talking about the very first round where very little happened other than, Islam eventually got a takedown and was able to control him. But Ian was able to get back up. And I just thought maybe if he did a little bit more early, he maybe would have been able to steal that first round. Because, he got dropped in the second round. Very surprised he recovered. I'm not sure if he didn't get clipped all the way or if his recovery is just that good. And then definitely in the third round, he won that round. So, I mean, to come back from almost getting finished and then, having success with the body kick in the third, I thought it was a pretty good, fight by Ian all in all. But in the end, it just felt like he left too much out there. And, I think, especially when he watches it back, he might regret possibly being up 2-2 and, just coming out a little calm. Because it was weird to me that he was not moving around.
Did you have in the fourth round 2-2 going into the fifth?
In real time, I gave that fourth to Islam. So I had it 3-1, but I fully acknowledged that the scorecards could be 2-2, and I really didn't have a problem with it. Because if you wanted to give the round to Gary for just the body shots being up against the fence, I'm completely fine with that, especially on a rewatch.
Right. So I had it 2-2 because, if you say, tell me damage is the number one thing you're looking for. Well, what damage did Islam do in that fourth round? He just held him. He just held him in a body lock and held him. Right. So that's kind of where I went to. You mentioned Ian, it's funny that you say that, because this dog mask here, this dog right here, that's what Ian's not, Bobby. I mean, Ian ain't got that dog. He ain't got that dog in him. If he did, If he did, he probably wins the fight. He probably wins that fight. Instead, he ain't got that dog in him. He don't. And Dana White, who was very critical of it post fight, I 100% agree with Ian or with Dana that Ian. I just didn't understand. Like Ian's always slapping hands, and he was like rubbing Islam on his head after each round. Dude, this is a fucking war. You're trying to fight for the welterweight fucking championship. You're going up against the number one fucking guy, the pound for pound guy in today's UFC. The toughest guy in the world, on the planet right now, is Islam. And you're just fucking shaking hands with him. Where's the fucking killer instinct? Where is I gotta fucking break this guy to beat him? Like, maybe because he thinks the whole world fucking hates him, so he wants fighters to like him. I don't fucking know. But Ian's so smart, and he's so damn good, but he ain't got that damn dog in him that's going to take you to win those championship rounds. And I don't know if he'll ever – to me, that's something you either have or you don't, and he doesn't have it. I don't know if he'll ever be a champion. I came away thinking, I don't know if Ian will ever be a champion. Because you're going to have to dig deep at times and have that killer instinct, and he just doesn't have it. And that's okay. He just doesn't have it. Like, think of the greatest athletes of all time. Are they doing some fucking shit like that? Are they going for the fucking kill? In any sport. In any sport. Michael Jordan going for the kill. Kobe Bryant going for the fucking kill. Tom Brady going for the fucking kill. John Jones, Islam himself going for the fucking kill. Like, they're just not slapping hands and being like Ian was just happy to fucking be there. I felt like fucking you had a chance to become welterweight champion of the world. You had a chance to knock off the pound per pound guy, and you just did. You failed because you're just too busy slapping ass.
I'm glad you gave me time to recover pulling out the dog mask. That killed me. I don't know why I was not ready for that. I should have put it together. Because at first I'm like, wait, there's no way he's going to put it right on. And yeah, so that caught me. I don't really disagree with anything you're saying at all. Because the main thing I came away with is he gave way too much respect to Islam throughout the whole fight. So I get it. It really threw me off that he was not moving around the entire time. I don't know if he was like trying to conserve energy or what, but that is him like just standing in the center is something we're not really used to seeing with him. I figured Islam would have to cut off the cage because Ian would be moving around, and he just
what was the game plan
there? And like his corner in between rounds was trying to get something out of him. He's like, okay, you feel good, your arm's good, like, let's put some hands on him. And he kind of just fought way too careful and respectful of a fight. Like to me, it felt like if he didn't get finished, he would consider that a win. So he didn't like really go for anything. And I don't know. He was one round away from winning the world title, so I don't want to be overly critical about it because he was like right there, but I do completely understand your point.
Yeah, and what was the game plan? Like you mentioned, Bobby, like we said going into the fight, we sat here a week ago, like Ian's gonna move, he's gonna be on his bike a lot, like he's gonna stick and move and run, like kind of run. Like we saw him do it against, Neil Magny, and others like Shavkat even. Like, what was the game plan? He just kind of stood in front of Islam, I felt, a lot, and not so much move around. Like, I just didn't understand what was going on there for Ian.
Especially because he did the complete opposite for Shavkat. For Shavkat, He was bouncing around the entire time. It was working for him. And I don't know if they just really did not trust. They wanted to make sure they could just fully keep their balance because they knew the grappling was inevitable. But that is like the main thing that kept catching me throughout the rounds. Rob coming in with the heater.
Yeah, Trent says he used to always be okay with people being human in the cage. Then the Yuri fight happened, and I'm like, nope, not any time for that. Yeah, you don't really have time. Like, here's the thing: is like, let me ask you what's worse. While we're on the topic here, is it worse what Ian did Saturday, or is it worse where two guys like have this like hate thing, kind of Islam or was it Hamzat and Sean, right? Like, and then they're kind of lovey-dovey afterwards. I'd rather have the lovey-dovey afterwards. You just try to beat the shit out of each other for 25 minutes, and then it's like you gain a little bit of respect to the person, right? Like, at least like during the fight they weren't lovey-dovey. Like, what do you think's worse?
I guess probably the, showing respect in the middle. I do wonder, like, one thing I want to point out with like the over respect, even though we've seen Ian do this to everyone, there is a good chance the reason he showed so much over respect is because Conor McGregor is such a piece of shit and he was not trying to get, put in that same vein. So I kind of get, I do think he did it way too much. Like during the fight, he should have saved that for after. But like in the pre-fight, I kind of understood it. But I figured when they got locked in the cage, all that would go away. There'd be one touch, and then they would fight. And it seemed like he wanted to just continue it. So yeah, that was pretty bizarre.
Right, like when I'm fucking playing, if me and you, Bobby, went out there to my like in my front yard and played 21, I'm not fucking dapping you up every time you fucking score a basket. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you fucking beat me, I'll dap you up at the end and be like, good fucking game, right? But after every fucking time you score a basket, I'm like, oh, good shit, I'm gonna dap you up. Fuck no, it's competition. That's at the minimum in the fucking front yard of playing 21, much less in a world fucking title fight.
Yeah, and like when Dana calls it down the middle, I mean, you asked me, like, does he make those comments if Eddie Hearn isn't involved? I think he absolutely does, because it was very like fair to call out. I didn't even think that was like over critical. Like, if anything, like he did it kind of laxed.
So Rob wants to, do y'all think Ian's playing everyone, or is he just a weirdo? I think he's just weird. I think that's just who he is. I don't think he's playing anybody. I think that's who he is.
Oh, with engagement bait, he absolutely is playing people. They've made a decision a long time ago to lean into it, and we see that. I mean, the broadcast even does it with like the pandering to the family and everything. So yeah, they know what they're doing, and
that part is kind of manufactured-ish. Yeah, I tend to agree there. What again, I wins. I came away thinking like, I think he's going to have some trouble in this division, right? Like, I don't think the insurvivability is the word I'm trying to look for, that he had at 155, where it's like, I don't know if anybody 155 around the planet can beat him at 155. I don't come away after this fight thinking that at about 170. I actually came thinking away, he's going to have to pack on some meat and muscle, because guys like Morales, Prates, Shavkat, they cut a lot of weight to get to one. Obviously Morales, right, for sure. Like, this division stacked. A guy like Sean Brady even would be interesting. I came away thinking he's beatable at 170. Who do you think is next here for Islam, or who should be next?
I came away kind of the opposite. I would acknowledge, yes, it's far more likely for him to lose up at 170. You're starting to, kind of see that because it is 15 pounds. But I did not come away even semi-concerned between a fight with Prates or Morales. I know Morales, you might think because of the size, and yes, that could very well be his undoing, but like he cuts so much weight. He like literally cut 50 pounds to be the backup. I don't know if he'd like be that heavy out of camp normally, But I just think that will kind of be his undoing if the fight goes long. Numerically, I know you want these two guys to fight, but I do think Prates earns it more. To Rob's point that just came up there, I do think Prates is the easier fight for Islam because of the
I do too.
grappling.
I do too.
So
we saw
that,
Leon, not that Prates has been in like super trouble, but we saw Leon, right? Like kind of like get to him at times. Like we've seen him not any where he's like, oh my God, he's going to tap here. Just like, oh, he's kind of himself in a situation here.
Yeah, if you want to do pretty much the most kind of interesting thing for how much you could test the weight class, the answer would probably be Morales. I just feel, Hunter is like such a fan of I would say at least 3, Rob.
I'd probably somewhere around there, yeah.
I think his main goal is to at least get to 20 and call it. He's at 17 right now, so that would be 3. And I do think we have the 3 perfect opponents. You literally have Prates, Morales, and then that will give Shavkat enough time to be healthy, get a quality win in the division, and I can't, and those 3 names, like with the like current, he's just building a resume to still kind of be in that all-time great conversation. Like I'm not talking about him being the GOAT or anything like that, but when you look at John Jones's record, when you look at GSP's record, when you look at Anderson Silva's record, there are multiple things on each of their resumes that you can poke holes in, similar to how people will poke holes in Islam's resume. Like whenever you get to this level, there's always going to be that water cooler back and forth talk. But like, I do think he is building a resume to be at that level on Mount Rushmore with those other 3 guys. I do convincingly.
Yeah. I right now, I mean, I've been touting Rob that I've Shavkat since this show's inception that he would be a future welterweight champion, but he is kind of irrelevant. Hasn't fought in over almost 2 years now, due to the injuries. So hopefully he needs some time. I don't think that he would be the first one to come back. He would probably he needs maybe a fight, maybe 2 fights. I think. I'm with you. I want to see him Morales. Really, I want to see Prates. I don't know why they didn't put Prates versus Morales on this damn fucking card. It pisses me off because it would have just would have been perfect, But we don't live in a perfect world. So
it would have been too easy. They don't do too easy.
Right. Just they fight. Winners fight each other. Losers fight each other. That's. I mean, unless Prates loses, Ian Gary doesn't really need that one. Again, he already beat him, but. It just would have just made more sense. We would have had a clear cut. Here it is. It seems like Islam wants Prates, like he kind of said that. But then do you like Ian Gary versus Morales?
Yeah,
whoever doesn't fight Islam should fight Ian, unless Prates already fought Ian, so I guess Prates would be out kind of out on that.
Yeah, it all depends. Like Islam mentioned that he wants to try to get one more fight in before Ramadan, so that would be before February. I kind of believe that timeline. I mean, especially after seeing the performance on Saturday, it would make more sense to try to get these in quicker than like stalling them out over 3 years. Because I think if you do that, it will be a little bit harder and harder. So, if he can stay a little bit more active, he, it might help him out a little bit. And I think if that does happen, that's why I think it would be Prates. Like if we are getting a December or January thing, I think they do Prates there. And then like at that point, you would want to see Morales take another fight, but it also wouldn't shock me with him being unable to cut to 170 easily, him essentially doing it for nothing here. It would not shock me at all if he sits out and waits for the winner of that fight. That obviously would not be my preferred method because the division is stacked enough to where you can book him against someone. But that's what I truthfully think will probably happen.
Yeah, I'm looking at just the welterweight rankings, like so you have Prates is the number one, then Ian Morales is 3. So I mean, really, if Prates is next for Islam, then you do Ian and Morales to me.
It's too easy. I was kind of calling for that before like Gary got booked for the title shot, but then obviously you got the title shot. I like that. You know, I would say too, like this is
The
more
winner
like
of the winner of Bonfim Brady, that's I think later this next month. Like they could fight Ian too or Morales. Well, I mean, if Bonfim, he could fight Morales if he wins. Or Brady
yeah,
already did.
because I don't think you're going to be able to sell Morales with that because like Morales would be like, well, he beat the guy that I knocked out, so why,
Yeah.
and it the Ian one kind of makes sense because they had the back and forth, even though like everything else, it was all hugs afterwards. Like Ian was talking to him in the back. So it's not like there's like really a grudge thing, but and like truthfully, I still think like dog or not, I think Ian still beats Morales and I mean, he's already beaten Prates, but I think he would probably beat him in a rematch. He fights too smart for those guys.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Ian's just so smart. He didn't got that dog in him, and that's why I always kind of bet Ian by decision or whoever. If I think he's going to lose, I bet it go in the distance because I just think that that's kind of where he's at. Yeah, I don't know when Ramadan starts, Rob. That's not my my expertise. I just do know that
February.
He said he wants to get it in. He wants to get a fight in before Ramadan, so he doesn't have to. So then he doesn't. He will be fine weight wise. So
Yeah, it's basically February. So that
yeah,
we got December and January. If he's not booked by then, it's gonna at least be like another 6 months.
yeah. So let's hope he gets one in January. I could see that happening.
And
Bobby,
like personally for me, I'm just like happy we're in the spot to where we can get these fights. Like we have elite opponents for him to fight. And I'm, pretty excited to see what comes for those like last 3 or however more we get. I'm just gonna appreciate it, before it's gone.
yeah, same. Let's move to the co-main event. Mackenzie Dern wins. Beats Julia Robertson. Seems like, the whole discourse is since that fight has been more about Dean Thomas than the fight and everything else. And we can touch on the Dean Thomas stuff here in a minute. I kind of came away thinking I thought Jillian, she offered absolutely fucking nothing for 4 rounds. I mean, I know the 5th round, she took Mackenzie down, had a little bit of action, but I mean, I just wish she would have tapped on the choke and then we could have just moved on with our lives. It would have been a lot easier than have to spend the next, 25 minutes of watching some shit. But, oh well, it is what it is. Mackenzie Dern wins. I didn't come away thinking that I still feel like if Weili got off the couch and stopped doing all this weird makeup, crazy stuff, she would beat her. What was your thoughts there on the co-main?
Mackenzie absolutely looked a lot more confident.
She did. I will say the first 2 rounds, I was like, oh, okay, Mackenzie's looking good. And then about halfway through the 3rd, I thought, well, this is shit.
She for sure slowed down, definitely. You seem a little bit more upset than Dean Thomas, but I understand. It wasn't probably the fight we were hoping for there with how it played out. But yeah, like Dern did look a lot more confident just moving forward and securing the takedown. It did kind of have me thinking, hey, does an active Dern possibly give Weili problems? I think I'm still in your camp thinking that Weili would still win that fight. But, the inactivity it's at least more of kind of an interesting question now. But yeah, I mean, Dern essentially, like, once she knew she could get her in that position, she played it safe for most of the fight. And
he said the co-main made the
I mean, to Rob's point, I did not have like the anxiety of that fight really ending that I did compared to the main event. Like just because the scrambles were just so close. It was like, to where that it's like, oh, okay, this is going to decision. But I mean,
You knew
maybe I'm
early
just
on, you
saying.
knew after the first round that Jillian could offer her nothing.
Yeah, I mean, credit to her for having a good fifth round, but essentially, and I think that's what Dean Thomas felt. Honestly, I don't know why he didn't just walk out in the first round. She maybe would have won the fight or something.
It would have got
Because
more ratings, Bobby. If he walks out in the first round, it probably would have done good ratings on his next show. You know, that's what everything's about for Dean.
like my main takeaway from the Dean Thomas stuff was people actually still watch the post-fight show. I could not believe that. And then when I
I don't
saw
think
the
people
clip,
watch it, but it's just on it. I don't watch it, but you just know about it because it's on the internet.
bro, when I saw the clip, I was like, oh, he's just clip farming for deep waters. I guarantee you he's gonna walk this back on Monday or whatever. And it just felt like more of a, hey, I'm a personality on the camera, so I'm gonna give him something to kind of gloss over it. And I'm not really surprised. I've never really thought much of Dean. So it is what it is. Like, yes, it was shitty. It actually reminded, you know what it reminded me of? Not in the same vein, but it kind of reminded me of when Nick Sick went on Ariel Hawani's show after Strickland DDP. And he
Oh yeah,
started essentially just divulging the entire thing, talking shop to
right.
Ariel about it. And that obviously rubbed Strickland the wrong way. He was talking about not, working with him in the future. I mean, obviously that all got ironed out and it's a different scenario. But I couldn't think of like a bizarre blunder like that to the media afterwards since that Nick Sick Ariel moment, which is why I kind of brought it up.
It reminded me of two things. One of them I just thought about. So Nick Saban, way back when he was the Dolphins coach, was on Monday Night Football and literally said, "I'm not taking the Alabama job," and then literally took the Alabama job like the next day. And it also made me think of like Bobby Petrino quitting in this, like when the Falcons were like halfway through the season, and Bobby Petrino quits and goes to Arkansas. Similar situation. The reason I say is because like it seemed like even in the corner he just wasn't like coaching, right? Like wasn't really giving great advice, or even like in the fifth, like fucking, you just got to tell her like you got to go for fucking broke here. We're down 0-4, like, and he just wasn't doing that, not like really giving advice. And then the shitty thing to me was like he apologized, and then it's like she was pretty much like, yeah, he apologized, but didn't really fucking apologize. So according to Ariel Hawani, so I feel more bad for Jillian because you already got your ass beat in a 25-minute fight, and then your coach wants to be a dickhead. So that's kind of how I felt. So
Yeah, but at the same time, I view this as a good thing because in the end, she'll probably never work with Dean Thomas again, and that is probably going to be the best thing for her career.
Right.
Granted, she probably did get some friendly like matchmaking and stuff because of Dean, because they're really like hooked up with Dean, but I'm sure she could hone her craft somewhere else. And yeah, he just looked checked out. I mean, I know I'm like making too much off the first interaction in the first round, but there was like no urgency. It was just like, okay, well, that's it. But Mackenzie Dern obviously got it done. So
she got it done. And I mean, I shit on it a little bit, but you're right, Bobby. She did look really good the first 2 rounds. Like I was like, oh, okay. And I was kind of came impressed, but when it boils down to it, like I think Weili's the better striker and Dern is a good grappler, but Weili's a good wrestler as well. So like I would favor Weili in that fight. For Jillian, I don't really know what's kind of next. Just I don't really like. Let's just take time, get the right coach in right there, and as well. And yeah, Rob says she looked she looked dejected too a little bit. Yeah, I would. I think so too, Rob. I think once they got to the ground that McKenzie was the better, was better. I think that's like that caused problems.
And she was like, God damn it, I have to listen to Dean Thomas for the next 25 fucking minutes. So, I mean, you can't really blame her for
appreciate it. Heath, thanks for checking us out.
Corner.
So, yeah, I'm right there with you. I think for Jillian, though, let's just take a little bit of time off and, kind of get back out there and see what happens. So,
yeah, I mean, on the positive, she took very little damage. It was a lot more control. And yeah, there's no reason to rush it. Figure it out. And when she's ready, I'm sure she'll be back.
Let's get to the rest of the card here, Bobby. Jalen Turner gets the 30-second knockout. I mean, kudos to Jalen Turner after the semi-retirement. He's now back-to-back wins. Looked great in this one. I do think it's time for a step up in competition. He seems, motivated.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll get to energy in a second.
Definitely a feel-good moment for sure. Seeing him kind of get back there. Kind of was surprised his opponent just like turned his back to him. Like that just seemed very ill-advised, but got the first round finish. I think it's time to like get Jalen Turner against ranked opponents now. I'm glad they've kind of like given him time to get his feet wet and reestablish him. But I think there's other people they could match him up with. And like to be fair, I thought this was very compelling matchmaking when it was done. Turner just, got to him early and didn't make it a fight at all. So credit to him.
Yeah, he called out Fiziev. That's the perfect fight for me. I love that fight. That'd be a fun one.
Please do it. Please don't have to wait to go to I'm blanking on the site country. Azerbaijan. Yeah, please do that. Yeah. But let's do that one in Vegas, UFC, please.
Yeah. We can save Fiziev for the next Azerbaijan. Before he can fight again.
No, that's a perfect like featured bout on a number card or something. Like amazing fight.
Yeah, I mean they'll probably try to make it a main event or something in fucking Iowa or some shit, or Kansas or something, but
yeah, I hope it's it deserves some juice. That's like MSG worthy. That's a very good fight.
I do. I think it's a great fight. That's a fight I would love to see. Bobby, what I don't want to see is ever again is Mansour Abdul Malik. That guy is hot fucking garbage. So
you're already out on him.
Out, man, out. That guy. He had a lot of hype for a lot of nothing. I mean,
there were a lot of surprising, compelling underdog wins that were shocking. So you got a lot of that on this card, but that was pretty bizarre. But shout out.
I mean, give it up for
Stolfus.
I think Stolfus was one of the
point, and he came back.
Yeah, I think Stolfus was like the second or third biggest dog on this card. Kudos to him. And even I like that on the mic. Like I pretty much suck, but I win sometimes. So kudos to that guy.
Yeah. And then the biggest dog on the card was Jeremiah Wells, who is getting beaten by Orolbai for 2 rounds and then sinks that submit. Like the card started off with some wild upsets. Like Uncle Neil got home after having a rough start. So, I know like when we first went over it, we thought it might be a little lacking, but I think we came away that most of the fights would deliver. The co-main or the main card absolutely like had some stinkers on it for sure. But I thought the prelims were pretty fun.
Shout out to Edson Barbosa lays the gloves down. I mean, he's tough SOB, and they could have stopped that fight. I thought at the end of the first, when his shins all busted up and everything else. For Ribovic, it's good to get back on the win column, and but Barbosa's a guy who's, been in this organization. It's got a lot of highlights, fought the who's at featherweight and lightweight, such a, a guy that's been around. So you knew as soon as he walked out, though, I knew he wasn't winning. He's already crying on the way to the cage. I was like, oh, he's probably going to get his ass beat here. And Rebic did what he was supposed to.
I mean, I was wrong in the aspect that it didn't end in the first round, but it probably could have, to your point.
Yeah.
And I learned, I think Rebic is very good. He got back on track, but I learned absolutely nothing from this fight. I mean, all respect to Barbosa. I'm very thankful for his career, but we were kind of like expecting this result. So I just hope they book him with someone, the vets sometimes will get favorable matchmaking on the way out, but 9 times out of 10, unfortunately, it's like this. So,
it's like I've said before, it's like the old wrestling adage, right? Like you put the older guy puts the younger guy over, so he builds his name on top. And this is real life fighting, and so they just make sure that happens for most of the time.
Yeah, that wouldn't bother me as much if they weren't the same fucking company. So let's put that.
The putting over, though, that's the old wrestling history. Like that's wrestling 101.
I understand the point. It's a fair one. Yes.
They just took it. UFC just took it and said, "Hey, that's a good idea. We'll make sure that happens here." Speaking of, I learned nothing. That was, you know what? I did learn something. I don't ever want to watch Chitty and Joel Alvarez ever fight ever again either, Bobby. That shit.
So you're out on Joel Alvarez too? Damn.
Yeah. How could you not? How could you not? That fight.
It was short notice. No grace. Just
not one attempt on a takedown. It was disappointing. It's disappointing.
No, I agree. It was one of the ones I was looking more entertaining for, and I was like, "Oh God, I'm gonna get grilled. This is a rough watch." But I did think this was a make or break fight for Joel Alvarez, and so that's pretty. I really don't know where he goes from here.
Yeah. I shout out again Charles Johnson with the Irish choke. I mean, he was having a tough fight go of it until he got the takedown and choke. I mean, we're built both kind. Energy fans. He's always going to be a guy that's exciting to fight, always down to fight. Like this is a guy that fights 3 to 4 times a year. Already said, "Hey, I want to get another one in." He called out Brandon.
This was his 5th fight this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe in a calendar year. Let me look. He called out Brandon Royval. Sign me up for that fight. That fight would be fun.
I love Charles. I do not think they're giving him any of those call outs. I hope they do. I'm worried they're just going to rebook him with Ochoa. I hope he gets a ranked top guy that he's calling for, but I would be pretty surprised.
So
they just never seem to do him any favors.
4th. This was his 4th fight since January. And if you count August of last year, so in less than a calendar year, that was his 6th fight.
Yeah,
he had the win against. In those 6 fights, he's won, loss, win. So like that shows you, A, he's active. 2, he can, like, he's won fights he probably shouldn't have and lost fights that he should have. Like he did lose to Loner last August, then turn around he beat Loner, sorry. Then turns around, loses to Alex Perez, then beats Bruno Silva, gets subbed by Asu, and then subs Chop Olin on Saturday night. So,
yeah, no, it was a good to see him get back in that column, and I know he'll fight again this year. I just hope they, I would love to see him versus Royval. Like, I just don't think you could go wrong with a fight like that. But
I just don't think they book it right, because Royval is 3rd and he's 14. Like they're not gonna book him against Royval. It would be a fun fight, but You can already see by the way they booked him, they're not going to book. They always book him up against these young killers, like young guys for some odd reason.
Yeah, that's why I think they're just going to rebook him against Ochoa there.
Yeah, I would. Him and Brandon Moreno would be a fun one. I think Moreno's booked for Mexico, though. So,
well, I mean, I say this all the time, so sorry for repeating myself, but you can't miss at flyweight. That's the benefit of flyweight. Like all of these fights are great.
Yeah, there's gonna. Yeah, it's flyweight. Any other thoughts here on the UFC 330, Bobby?
Yeah, I want to give Deontay Johnson a shout out. Quick work for him. He's with Nixick now, so just kind of interesting to see. He's still very young, only 9-0, so we'll kind of see where he can go. And absolutely have to give a shout out to Trayshawn Gore for that. Luque too, like that was a very good fight. Did that get the bonus, or am I tripping?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, Dubs is back. He says he thinks Van's gonna go right through Pantoja. That's light work for him. Ooh, I don't know, Dubs. We'll find out here in a few weeks. That's Bobby's 15th most anticipated fight of the year.
No, it's number one now, brother. Well, technically we have this, and then we have the Ryzen PFL super fight. That is the cinema. Oh, and I forgot that, that might explain the loaded show. I forgot that insane fucking announcement on the broadcast. So we got some more anticipation to go.
Yeah, I was getting ready. That's leads me to my next segue, Bobby. You mentioned that we just talked about it. They announced several different fights on coming up. So UFC 333 is absolutely stacked. That was the main one. Let me get to the card here. They haven't announced the winner for 332 yet, but 333 they announced Volkanovski versus Mozart, Peter Yan versus Merab, Loner Kavanagh versus Razimon Tirmov was announced. Pretty much the whole card was. Alexander Volkov versus Kanuev. Arnold Allen versus Aaron Pico is going to be a good one. Dominic Reyes
be fight of the night.
Yeah, Dominic Reyes versus Azmat Mirzakov. So that was announced. The Brady versus Bonfim fight was announced as well. That's a main event in the Apex. So that's November 7th. Bonfim versus Brady. Any of those, and they did announce Davison Figueiredo versus Peyton Talbot in Utah. Right now, that's listed as the co-main. Which one of those is kind of sticks out for you?
Oh, you don't even have to ask. Like, Abu Dhabi gets all of the nice things, and like in this scenario, I was kind of expecting this. Like once Volk Evloev did not go to LA, it was like, okay, they're going to do it for Abu Dhabi, and then you're starting to hear that they might be doing Peter Yan, Merab as well, and you're like, oh wow. And then announcing that on the broadcast, you're just locked in for those two, like two high-end title fights back to back. They absolutely nailed it with that. And that Arnold Allen fight versus Pico, I think, is going to be fireworks as well. I'm assuming that's going to be on the main card. It's a shame that fight is not going to be 5 rounds, but it should be a very fun 3-round fight. But
unless Aaron Pico gets knocked out,
Yeah, with all of the things off the books, like with last weekend's fight happening, they nailed it, announcing, some of the more prestigious titles for matchups we've kind of been waiting on. I mean, we've been waiting for the Merab to run it back with Yan for almost a year now. And me and you both, I believe, had been hoping that it was going to be Evloev for Volk. I mainly just like for Volk's overall legacy, especially when you see like what Islam is doing, like fighting the top ends of the opponents.
Right.
I just
Volk was asking for Mozart. It's not like he was like any.
Exactly.
He was very much.
He wanted that fight, and he should have got it already. So I'm glad they finally gave it to him, because if he can pull that off, that'd be quite a feather in his cap for kind of an all-time career. So I'm I'm nervously excited for that fight, and then the co-main. I do think it's right that Volk is the main event as well. Like I think that's the right choice. But Jan Marab 3, I'm a lot more excited for than when we got the conclusion of the second one, because especially with like Jan having the back surgery and being out for a while, I think that's going to be a 50-50 fight as well. So very they can't miss with Abu Dhabi. I don't know what slot they're going to try to fill that Salt Lake City card with, but we
Lots
shall
of
see.
rumors flying around. The internet's going to internet. I've seen rumors of Yuri versus Costa for the vacant lightweight. I've seen rumors of Diego versus Charles for the BMF. Hopefully not. We don't need that. I've seen Valentina versus Silva for the flyweight, and then who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, well, the Valentina Careni Silva, I think that's just like working the common sense of that needs to happen.
Yeah.
And I would assume that would be the co-main unless they were to hit it with the main, which I would not expect. But
Sure, they're not going to do Amanda versus Kayla on that card, right? Like I feel like that's got New York written on it.
I feel like if it's this year, they will hold that off for MSG. Absolutely. Yeah. That makes more sense. I'm telling you, man, I'm not going to apologize for this opinion, but I do think because of Eddie Hearn, it would not shock me at all if we get Aspinall versus Gone in altitude at Salt Lake City. Would it?
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Because like a lot of people are circling that as MSG now, because that was like the one tell from Abu Dhabi is okay, that fight's not going to be in Abu Dhabi, because we also thought that could have been a possibility.
Yeah.
So it kind of, you're assuming.
Well, they were probably like, "Hey, we already seen that bullshit last year. We're not paying a fucking $1 billion for that shit. Give us some real shit."
Well, I'm hoping for Tom's sake, he probably said, I want a real fucking commission and not, something with a rubber hose in the back, So, but unfortunately, they have a real commission in Salt Lake City. So it would not shock me.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. What they do there. They announced some slot for it, today, but nothing that.
Did you mention the Rojas Jr. main event? Did I miss that one?
Oh yeah, no, I didn't say that. Yeah, that was that's going to be at the Apex as well. So
good luck selling 1,200 tickets to that event. That is insane.
Well,
I thought someone was. When someone told me that was the main event, I thought they were like blatantly trolling me in Spaces, and then I actually saw that it was the main event. Like, I don't care that it's in the Apex. That is ridiculous. What are we doing? Like, why do we need 5 rounds of that? Can anyone tell me that?
Hopefully, we don't need 5 rounds.
3 would be plenty. Like, the fuck is that?
Let's
like
get
that.
Into,
that was the only announcement over the weekend that I was just shocked at the laziness of it.
Yeah, let's get into this weekend's card, Bobby. They are live in Sacramento, California. It is headlined by Anthony Hernandez versus Gregory Rodriguez. I think this fight's very intriguing fight. Like, puts themselves winner, especially if RoboCop wins, could put himself kind of right there. You have also in the co-main Sergey Spivak versus Vitor Petrino. How about RDR making his light heavyweight debut, at least in the UFC, against Roman Dolidze? You have Mason Jones versus Marquel Murdos. And that's pretty much, pretty much it. I'm not going to run down the whole card. But let's just kind of focus on this main and really, let's start with the RDR. Your thoughts here before we talk about the main. His light heavyweight against Roman Dolly. This is a fight he should win.
Can I give some love to Mason Jones real quick? I love that he's on this main card. Been waiting for him to get back in for a while. So I absolutely have that one circled. And on the RDR front, he looks very good. I mean, I know I don't want to make too much of media day, but he definitely seems to be appreciating not having to do the 185 cut. And I'm not trying to sell Delise short, but I was a little annoyed with the matchmaking here. I
thought they should have given him somebody higher, right? That's what I thought.
Yeah, I don't know if they just have questions because of the past performances. That would be fair, but Delise is not just gonna. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he might, but it should at least be like an interesting test. But I do kind of fear that I'm just gonna be like not know what to come away from it because it's like, well, let's have him fight someone like more up there and stuff. But I do think 205 was the move, but I'm just kind of gonna be curious how he looks the entire fight, because like he's had fading issues in the past. So maybe from that standpoint, that's why the UFC matched him up.
He was also pretty active at 185 too. So like if he's gonna stay that active, you don't have to cut as much. Obviously, you're going to not be as trained as you were in the last fight against Kaio. So this main event, Bobby, like it's very intriguing to me. Like last time we saw Anthony Hernandez, he got knocked out by Sean Strickland, and Sean went on to win. That aged kind of perfectly, right? Because Sean's the middleweight champion. But before that, he was was on a run. Before that, he had won like 8 in a row or so. Actually, more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 in a row, I guess. And he's taking on Gregor Rodriguez, RoboCop, who has got lights out power, but can also grapple. He's on a 3-fight winning streak. 2 of those by KO. So, like I said, his last loss was to Jared Cannonier. And if you remember, he was kind of beating up Jared until those later rounds. So your thoughts here on this main event?
Loved how you just glossed over the heavyweights. Someone's glamoring to save the division.
I don't really think that they're heavyweights we need to worry about anytime soon.
Well, you ain't gonna get any protests from me. Great main event for sure. It's I don't know, like this one again. I guess I'm happy for the opportunity that like Rodriguez is getting in this because I do think he deserves a name to kind of see where he is. But I also think this is gonna be a very tough fight for him. Like I think he could like make his best is probably to like just try to have success early because like if we get into the 3rd round or so, I'm gonna be kind of just wondering with the pace that Fluffy normally tries to go at with the constant spamming just grappling and wearing on him. If he doesn't get to him early, I think this is gonna be a long night for Rodriguez here. So
I mean, he does have the knockout power, though, right? So,
yeah, and I would say like he should absolutely work the body. I mean, Strickland showed that you could really slow Fluffy down with body shots. So I would assume for him to incorporate a lot of that. So I'm not like really trying to sell him short or anything. Like I think this will absolutely be a fight, but I think if Fluffy is able to implement his game, then he probably wins. But at the same time, like we do have like questions with Fluffy's gas tank, especially when he gets work to the body. So I could see why it's intriguing, for is not going to win. But I mean,
he's coming off.
Do you like RoboCop's chances?
I do, because of the knockout power, right? And the line says you got to like it. It's Anthony Hernandez minus 180, RoboCop's plus 145, so it's almost even there. So,
that's probably more than fair by the books. I kind of get making him at least. I was seeing he was like close to a 2-1, but it sounds like a little money's going in on Rodriguez there.
If you think Anthony's going to win, how do you think he's going to win? Like, how's he going to get out? You think by decision?
Decision or early submission, like maybe like second, third round. But
so
go ahead.
By submissions plus 275, and then by decisions plus 425.
So what? It's saying he's going to TKO him according to the books? Or?
TKO's plus 225. Rodriguez by KO's plus 225. Rodriguez by decisions plus 800.
And they're definitely doing the hometown thing with Fluffy too. Being up in Sacramento. So I'm sure that'll, the crowd should be in it and stuff, or at least you would hope. But, I do see from the last performance with Strickland, I mean, I know Strickland went on to win a world title, so that loss definitely aged well. But I still have questions about Fluffy since that loss. So I'm curious to see if he's able to get back on track or if he kind of struggles with RoboCop's size or anything. But I do still think Fluffy is able to kind of get back on the tracks here.
Okay. Over under real quick, 2.5. So they don't really think this fight's going to last long. I mean, it's even too. Both of them were minus.
If you see Fluffy's pace and how RoboCop's fights end, it does make sense. I could see why a lot of people would be on the under in this.
I think I'm going to go. I like RoboCop here by knockout, Bobby. I think he's going to catch Fluffy coming in, and he's going to knock him out. He's going to get caught.
Damn. Too bad it's not a number card. You could have pulled the dog mask out for a second thing.
I could. But you got anything else to add before we get out of here, Bobby?
No, I think we covered it. I mean, there's the boxing fight on this weekend too. But I mean, Sacramento should be good. And I think they, when I first looked at the card, I was like, this is, kind of whatever. But I'm excited to see Chris Padilla is on it. I know you were making the jokes earlier. It's Jesus versus Jesus is fighting.
Oh yeah,
Wes Schultz and McVeigh. So I'm not.
Winner gets to star the new Passion of the Christ. Loser's got to shave his head.
Yeah, no, this is a more than decent cool down for last week. So
yeah, and a very intriguing main event that means something. I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if Rodriguez goes out there and blast Fluffy, you could say, "Hey, man, this guy's next," or one away.
Yeah, fighting someone in the top 5 to pretty much get the title shot next or something. I think the winner could fight Drickus. I know we'll get to that next week, but there is a lot. Because we haven't gotten a rematch yet, there is a lot kind of going on, waiting for the title to be booked. So we'll see how 185 shakes out.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be back next Wednesday, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. So be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. For my guy, Bobby Blunts, I'm Bodkins. It's been another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. Enjoy the fights this weekend. Hopefully it's a great weekend. See ya.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.